And unless we retake control and governance of this country, we will not be able to implement the visions that will be set by successive governments. Because if that same government has no interest in that vision, it just needs to set an agenda. It needs to have a distraction. It needs to come up with a PISOB. It needs to come up with something to be discussed. It is not trying to come up with a blueprint for economic development in this country, but is coming up with a conversation that would probably give it a second term in power. That's exactly where the problem is. And there's little regard for the citizens. And we've seen that with public participation in this country. We give our opinions on most of these things by way of attending public participation. We vote on certain policies. We vote on certain directions we need as a country. And that public participation exercise amounts to nothing. And our collective decision on that particular public participation is not considered. So at the same time, when you have a heavy-handed president who wants to control everything and who is a know-it-all, you are in a difficult position as a country, and as a citizenry, you are almost on the verge of giving up. And we have to reclaim this country so that our voice now appears to matter, because representation in this country does not even matter. If your legislators are bought, if the judiciary is captured, and if most of these independent commissions and offices are captured, then where then is the voice of the common man?
Now, on that verge of giving up, James, is where you find the majority of the population, the youth, who are told the future belongs to them.
Yeah, sure.
And as we talk about 2060, that is the future, which should belong to the youth. Therefore, you'd expect, as Dennis says, that this Vision 2060 is birthed largely by the ideals of the youth, because that nation we want to build is a nation for them. So they should be the one who should birth to it. And I think the president said that great nations have been built, have been generated, have been developed, because this is work that goes into it by people who own and say, this is where we want to go.
Out of discipline.
Out of discipline, and not out of guesswork, which I think he's doing a lot of guessworking. Now, when you look at it, James, today's Kenyan youth, in my opinion, stand firmly against this regime. And they're saying, must go, must go. They seem to have declared Ruto is the outgoing president in a record 1 year, 1 week to come. Today is the 31st of July. So that is one. Two, the youth have been treated as a political tool. Everybody who comes out to talk about their aspiration for presidency, they are yearning and trying to implore on the youthful vote. And yet, they treat the youth as people to be rescued, to people to be helped, but just numbers to help them win. And I think that's why we end up with a lot of youthful political casualties, in my opinion. After a regime ascends to office, there are no take-homes for the youth. Do you think, as we approach 2027, that now the youthful vote of the country has experienced a paradigm shift from the pains granted to them, especially by this outgoing regime? Do you think they'll behave differently?
You see, there was a time I used